you drink away, Henry, and maybe I should start by introducing us. So I'd say, welcome, hello to our podcast. This is the third or fourth iteration of a podcast we've done, isn't it, Henry? We tried a podcast on music, we tried one on reading, on classic literature, which I think were both really very, very good.
Well,
in fact,
I'm very proud of both.
very proud of them, but they haven't seen the light of day.
No one will ever hear them.
So now we've decided to jump in with the hordes of other podcasters who are already on this train. It's a politics podcast, listeners. Isn't that right, Henry?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And what we found that before we were doing podcasts about things in the past, music, literature, whereas this time we are doing things about topics that are in the past, but the past being the past week.
Chatting the week with...
Chat the week.
Chat the week.
Stephen and Henry.
But we will
chat the week.
Chatting. So either works.
What are we going to talk about this week?
Wow.
I've now, this week, as you know, generally speaking, I don't watch, consume, listen to any news.
You've never voted, have you?
No,
as far as I know.
I've never voted. No, I've never voted.
No,
I've never voted. No, not since the school elections. And I would love to feel that I had a team. And I feel like people are very vitriolic about these things. I don't want it to take over my life, but I would like next time the election comes along to at least be able to say, well, I like this chap.
Or lady.
Or lady. We have ladies now.
Could be a lady, yeah. Times have moved on. I would say I'm probably, I wouldn't say a political anorak, listeners and viewers, but I like to keep abreast of what's going on, but I do pride myself on being a fairly impartial voice, I think. I don't have a tribe. I've voted this way and that in my life. And
do you mind if I ask? We've never spoken
please.
about it. This is the first interest I've really shown in it. And we've been friends for years. Who have you voted for?
Oh, well, I think...
If you're not too uncouth.
No, that would be to kiss and tell, I think. That not get into that, because instantly you're going to have people switching off saying, oh no, what a horrible man, he's stupid, he hasn't got a clue. So I think for the purposes of that, just say I'm what you describe as a floating voter.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe we both are floating in that political soup.
Yes, I mean, it makes it sound a bit horrid, doesn't it? Floating voters, something you find in the... Moving forward, today we're going to be talking about what the story that's been dominating the news this week, and that's the lady.
The lady?
That's wrong. That's not a lady, although there were ladies there. It's the Labour Party conference.
Now, I'm so glad that this is what you've started with.
Now,
because I've been listening to Five Live all week, and this is all they've chatted about.
Well, with good reason. I mean, it's a huge political event, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, forgive me. I don't want to patronise you, but I know you're new to some of this. So, do you know what the party conferences are, Henry? Perhaps not everyone who's tuning in will do. So
no. I remember. Do I remember, or was I told? I don't know.
You might have dreamt it.
No. I believe there is a hotel in Brighton that was being used for the Conservative Party.
Oh, I know what you're
many
going to
years
say.
ago.
Yeah,
and there was an explosive device.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Maggie Thatcher almost.
Was anybody actually killed?
You're testing me now. To my knowledge, no one was killed. Norman Tebbit was, I believe, blown out of bed, and his wife very badly injured. But I don't think anyone. No, I could be wrong. We'd have to fact check that. Anyway, you're quite right. That was an extremely memorable party conference for all the wrong reasons, and thankfully, just listeners and viewers, no such thing has happened at the Labour conference this time. Everyone's been sleeping soundly in their beds.
However, has the political landscape itself been blown up?
Well,
and I'll just stop there. I'm pleased with that.
That's a nice line. We could put that in the trailer. That's a good question, Henry. So as you said, all the parties do these conferences once a year, usually around September, October time, and it's a jamboree. They all get together. The Labour people get together, the Conservatives and the newer parties these days, Reform, the Lib Dems, they all get together, and they chat about how things are going and their speeches and the like. So this week, it was Labour, and we stating the obvious, they're the party of government, aren't they?
No.
They've been in charge for a year. How have you found that? I mean, any have you enjoyed the last year of a new government? Have you noticed any changes in your life, or a bit underwhelmed? What do you think?
I've not really noticed any changes in my life.
No, well, fine. I mean, well, you had that issue with your kidney, didn't you? But that was
Oh, no.
probably not to do with the Labour government.
Keir Starmer.
Speed on to Keir Starmer. He
Mm.
gave a big speech. Did you see any of it?
I did see the speech. There was a few bits that I really liked.
Oh, go on.
The version that I saw, I realised, had been edited to have music underneath it.
What was it? What was the music?
Oh, you would know it.
Ride of the Valkyries?
No. It's it used to be used on a Hovis advert. May well be Handel.
Okay, fine, yeah.
Jupiter Suite, possibly.
Oh, I wasn't miles off then.
Yeah, no, you weren't. Now, it was a classical piece of music, and what it evoked in me was an emotion.
Mm.
And I couldn't work out, and the emotion was one of pride, and I couldn't work out whether that was the music or Sir Keir Prime Minister. But I wasn't listening to a word he was saying.
Well, no. Well, you probably won't be alone in that. So, Keir Starmer, I've got some things that came out of the speech that I'm going to ask you about, Henry.
Right.
Because you're a good sample of,
No, I think
Joe Public.
I think I'm more than happy to be
call
Joe
you.
Blogs. That's fine. Joe Public, if you like. Yes. No, I'm more than happy to be
man
the everyman.
The man in the street, yeah.
Mm.
So, the key theme that came out, I read this, I made a note. This is from the BBC website, listeners and viewers. The BBC said, sorry, I've got it all. Put my teeth in. I'm nervous now. I'm reading. I don't want to get the quote wrong because they'll come after me. Sir Keir Starmer has launched an all-out attack on Nigel Farage's, quotes, politics of grievance. And he said the Reform UK leader did not believe in Britain. And he also added, it says here, he's been stirring the pot of division. And last week, did you see this? He went on the BBC and he said that the Reform Party's policy on immigration was racist. What do you think when you hear that?
Well, my first question is, what is immigration? No, I know what immigration is. But
you know what that is.
No,
Henry.
I know what it is. But
don't do yourself down.
No. What I say is just folk coming here, isn't it? That's it, or going there.
That's quite right.
It's just folk moving around,
coming or going.
Now, my question is, what is immigration? No, it's the wrong question. Why is immigration? Why
is it?
Why all the fuss?
Well, that's a good point. I suppose perhaps the thing that's said for people who like it is, hooray, the country's more interesting, there's different types of people.
That's what
get a Chinese takeaway.
Well, that's what he talked about. He talked about some graffiti on a Chinese takeaway.
He did, but I don't think he was praising that. I think he was saying we shouldn't be doing that. So he was talking about the people who don't want the Chinese takeaway. I never know. They don't like Chinese food. They said go home.
With graffiti, you see that sometimes it's celebrated. Banksy, for example. Although recently he did a drawing that was taken down.
I saw that, yes.
So he's now not popular.
No.
And yet, every time I drive on the motorway, on all of the bridges, I see the word Helch. And I don't know what that means.
Hang on. The point I was making is some people, happy about it. You get all these cultures mixing together, coming and going. Some people say it's too much. That's what the Reform Party is saying. They're saying we're losing our sense of English or British identity, as I believe that's what they would argue. And he's saying that's racist to say too many people coming here. Actually, there's a specific policy which is about something called indefinite leave to remain, but I fear that might muddy the water if I bring that into this. So stick to the basics. He's implying, he was at pains to imply that the people voting for Mr. Farage are not racist, but some of the policies are.
My question, and I'm sorry, I keep asking more questions than answers.
No, that's what we're here for.
Is racism, and I'm going to be very, very careful how I say this because I am.
No,
not
please do, because it would get taken
I
off
am
the
not
air.
a racist. Is racism only racism when the race in question is brown?
Well, oh, God, this is not how I expected. Slightly wishing we were back doing the books podcast now. No, I think it's a good question, though. And some people have been saying, defending Mr. Farage, they've been saying, well, no, this isn't racism because this policy that they're saying, oh, you're going to have to reapply. If you've been here 5 years at the moment, you can then apply to stay forever. And he's saying, no, you're going to have to reapply. But he's saying it's not to do with the colour of your skin.
So even if you were German or whatever, you would still...
Well, this is why I was
What about the Australians?
worried about
They
getting into the weeds with this.
Well, because the Australians are basically the same as us because we just...
Well, so are the Germans, I suppose. So they speak a different language. And
Well, no, the reason I said Australians is because...
They have had some...
They're just
We've
criminals.
had some differences of opinion. Sorry?
They're just criminals, aren't they? Old British criminals. From transportation.
I
in the
see what you mean.
1800s.
Technically, yes, I suppose that is true.
Or at least related to old British criminals.
I'm not sure you're really meant to say that these days. However...
I saw a chap the other day who was claiming that one of the Crays was his grandfather, and he was bloody proud about it.
Was he Australian?
No, nothing, no.
Well, I was going to say you're not really supposed to say that, but you're technically correct, so I don't know why. But I was wondering, I wanted to run by you this idea of sending people home. Whether let's take the skin colour out of it.
All right, yeah. Well, I'd quite like to.
Because you're right. Australians might be sent home.
Aboriginals.
No, let's take the skin colour out of it. I said Australians may be sent home, as might Indians, anyone not from the EU after 5 years now. Is that a racist policy? And I was going to test this because it's a fine line, isn't it? What do you measure it against? Is it more racist than, for example, is it more racist than that football team that you talk about sometimes?
Who's that?
What the horrible one in South London?
Millwall.
Millwall. Is it more racist than the Millwall supporters? Do you think the Reform Party is more racist than Millwall?
I don't know who the Millwall supporters would vote for. But if they did...
Do you think it would be a racist party?
I don't think it would be Sir Keir Starmer.
Okay, well. Do you think... Would you be more happy taking... If you had... I'm just thinking hypothetically here. If you had a 13-year-old Muslim daughter...
Highly unlikely.
But not impossible. You're still, men can have children into their 80s. You could.
True.
Would you rather take your Muslim daughter to a Millwall football match or to the Reform Party conference? Where would you feel safer? Or indeed, would you rather?
It depends on what she's into.
Well, that's true. But
she might be a racist.
She might, yeah. Well, yeah. So then, where would you take her? Okay, flip it on its head. Where would she feel more at home? Watching the Millwall game? Or strong with it?
So yes, it's very strong.
Yes, you're getting through that quite fast.
I would take her to...
What if you had a whole... Would you rather take a
If
whole...
it was my daughter, I think I'd take her to both. If she wanted that.
Okay,
if I did have a daughter or a child indeed of any sort, or any dependent...
I'd want to get her involved. Politics,
give them the best
sport,
possible chance in life.
Immerse them fully.
And if she wanted to go and shout racist things at the football, I wouldn't like to, but I'd do whatever she wanted.
What if you were in charge of a whole school of Muslim girls, taking them to the Millwall game? Would you feel happy about that, or would you take them to the Reform Party conference?
Again, it's very hard. It's so hard to imagine.
That's all right.
I've never imagined myself a teacher, but
here's another one. Is the policy more or less racist than the royal family?
No. As you know, I love the royal family. And that.
Well, I do too. You know that. That's,
yeah.
But let try and take off the rose-tinted spectacles. Some people would say the royal family is a racist institution.
No, absolutely not. Well, they're wrong. Prince Philip said a few things, but don't we all?
Yeah.
And I think if Prince Philip, God rest his soul, was here today, he'd be more than happy to take a whole school full of Muslim little girls to Millwall football, if that's what they wanted to do.
Yes.
Or he'd take them to the Reform Party conference.
Whichever was their preference. I do have a quote here from Prince Philip, and I'm sorry if this offends anyone.
Oh.
He said, remember, we're trying to work out whether this policy of theirs is more or less, where does it fall on the racism spectrum?
And you've got I'm glad.
Prince Philip said, if it has 4 legs and isn't a chair, if it swims and isn't a submarine, the Cantonese will eat it. Racist or not? Do you think?
Is Cantonese a people?
Oh gosh, now you're testing me again.
I thought that was a restaurant.
So maybe it's not. Maybe that's fine. All right.
Maybe it's a Cantonese restaurant. They may eat all sorts, don't they?
He also apparently said
He's probably right.
To the president of Nigeria, at a meeting they had where the president was dressed in tribal robes.
I can picture that right now.
Prince Philip said, "You look like you're ready for bed." I think that's not on. You can't. I think he's. We love the royal family, but they did have that streak in them, didn't they? Not Prince Harry. He's very open-minded, but that is. I've not heard Nigel Farage say anything like that. Farage, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm
thinking about the dressing.
I was thinking about the dress, and
Yeah.
I looked at. You've got a. They can't see the listener, but over there, there's a blanket that you've got that looks like a sort of.
It's nice, isn't it?
Before we finish, you must remind me. I'll pop that on, and we'll see whether it looks like I'm ready for bed.
No.
Or ready to
Oh
lead,
dear,
to
we
lead.
mustn't do that. No, I think
I'm ready for bed, or whether I'm ready to lead a West African country.
No, I think we won't do that. Okay, we'll finish this section. The last thing I was going to ask is it racist? More racist to be supporting this reform policy, or to fail to give up your seat to an elderly Caribbean woman at the back of the bus who wants to sit down?
At the back of the, I thought you meant giving your seat in Parliament, which I thought would be extreme.
Yeah, no, you if you've been
I've done all that work to get in.
Yeah, just for some woman off the
some Caribbean woman to come in and let her sit in my.
I mean, she might have some good ideas, but it's got to go through the parliamentary process, doesn't she? Like we all do.
What was the question?
You're sitting there. She wants to sit down.
Well, I would let her sit down.
What if she had a horrible view about something? You know, she might. Would you not want to find out what she thought about?
Here's a real dilemma.
Gay people, for instance.
I'll throw this one back to you. No, I'll throw this one back to you. You're sitting on the bus, and Caribbean lady arrives, and she wants to sit down with all of her shopping.
Yes.
And she says, "Excuse me," I won't do her voice. She says, "Excuse me, young man, would you mind giving up my seat? I'm very tired. I've spent the day at the Reform Party conference."
So that would be confusing.
What would you do?
I'd say no. I'd say no. You know what? I'd say by all means. My feeling on this, cards on the table, is I don't think it's inherently racist for them to be sending some people to saying you got to reapply again because some of them may be white. So she wouldn't be a racist by default of being a Reform Party supporter. Just like that school of Muslim girls, they wouldn't be racist either if they were there. So
at the Millwall game.
Or the Millwall game.
Well, that's cleared up quite a lot, really.
Do you want to hear another couple of things that came out from the conference?
Always.
Just because we're on this subject matter. So, do you know who Shabana Mahmood is?
Absolutely not.
No. Well,
Is she a presenter on TalkSport?
Not to my knowledge. A long time ago, she might have been.
Sports Breakfast.
Oh, no, definitely not. So she's the Home Secretary. So
currently now?
No, yeah. She's in charge of immigration.
Right. And what's her name, sorry?
Shabana Mahmood. And she weighed in. I promise you, she does not present on any sports radio programs. She said that some of Reform UK's policies, which we should do a whole episode on Reform UK, and we will do, because to give them a fair hearing, she said some of their policies were worse than racism.
Oh. Right. What's that?
What do you think? And I just thought, what could...
Paedophiles.
Well, yeah, what could be worse than racism? That's where what are they? Are they going to be introducing those? You know, it's the law. You have to have one on every road, or what?
Well, you always used to.
I don't
You
think
showed me that video of that man sniffing trainers,
I did. It was.
and it gave me a very strange feeling because
It was a
obviously,
horrible video.
well, obviously a horrible video, but at the same time, strangely tinged with nostalgia
Yes, it did
for
used
an
to happen
old-fashioned
a lot more.
nonce, you know.
Yeah, he was. It was to
They're
describe the
perfectly
video.
harmless.
It was a man on a bicycle, with just normal looking man on his bicycle, and all these little boys were running up to him with their arms outstretched,
With trainers.
quite willingly, going, have a smell, and they were holding up their trainers and he would give it a sniff, and then he'd go, all right, next one, and this was real, by the way, wasn't it? We saw a footage of it online.
It was nice to see a community embracing.
So maybe that's what Reform, I suppose.
Friendly paedophiles.
Yes, that would bad paedophiles worse than racism for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think friendly ones, maybe
About to say.
if they are Reform UK going to introduce that as a policy, but I don't think they are. I think we're going down a rabbit hole here. It's the sort of thing you say, and I'm surprised that Shabana Mahmood has said this. It devalues it. It's like when someone says, "Oh, I had someone in the library say to me the other day, I stubbed my toe."
Mm.
And they said, "Oh yeah, there's nothing worse, there's no worse feeling." And I thought that there is.
No.
You need to get a grip if you think that.
Very interestingly, I have broken my leg. Not recently.
I remember very well.
I've broken quite a few bones, and I've been in some quite tricky positions. But the most painful thing that ever happened to me, and this is why I sympathise with your friend, I was walking through my house naked on my own, and I'd just done a very smelly poo, very, very smelly, and I'd gone through to the kitchen to go underneath the cupboard.
That bit out.
No, I'd gone to the kitchen cupboard to get a new can of Oust, because I always keep quite a few in
reserve. I know you do.
Because I get through quite a lot of
Henry,
Oust.
can we speed through this bit of the story? Sorry. We should have warned the listeners that. So you do have a bit of a potty mouth, don't you?
I do
sometimes
find. No, I don't. I think what happens is I'm very open with my bodily functions.
You are.
I was wandering through my house completely naked, picture the scene, with a fresh can of Oust.
Yeah.
And I was flinging it in the air, pretending I was John Wayne, and flicking it. You know how he used to flick his gum, and I flicked like this, and it landed down on my toe, and it hit me right here on the toe, on my big toe, and it's the worst pain I've ever felt.
Worse than breaking your leg.
Worse than breaking my leg. I lay on the floor, prone, completely naked, and I was crying, and I cried and cried.
Oh, well,
cried. And I'm not ashamed.
I'm not trying to diminish your.
Not ashamed.
Yeah, I don't mean for a moment. Sorry, I feel like I've upset you there with that.
No,
comment,
no.
but
You've not upset me. You just reminded me of the worst pain in my entire life.
Maybe it sounds like you would take being in a gulag over being naked on the floor with your stub toe, just like Shabana Mahmood would. It sounds like rather have paedophiles running. Well, I don't know. I've lost the thread of that argument, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
Worse than being trapped on a desert island. I always
Depends
think.
who with. And as we both know, we both love listening to Desert Island Discs.
Yeah, well, of course. Yes, it's a brilliant program, isn't it?
Listeners, if you've never heard of it,
Oh.
there's a program. We listen to it, don't we?
It's marvellous.
It's
yeah.
on
Radio 4, BBC Radio 4.
So you go on,
Every week,
everyone
I
can
think,
find it.
yeah.
It's on all the time. And or if you have a smart speaker.
No, hang on. It sounds like an advert for the BBC. We don't want that. I mean, do listen to it,
Honestly, I'm
but don't do their dirty work for them.
It's going to take off.
It's a great premise for a program, but being stuck on an island listening to the same 7 songs on loop would be torture, really, wouldn't it?
No, it really would, yeah.
I'd rather stub my toe, or heaven forfend, be racially abused than be stuck on an island listening to my favourite 7 songs on looping, hourly waterboarded by, well, it would be ABBA in my instance, just over and over again. I think
You'd have 7 ABBA, wouldn't you?
I'd definitely have to have 5 or 6. I don't know. Maybe I'd like to go for 7, but again, it would send you mad. You'd be hanging yourself from a palm tree with a vine with Chiquitita blaring in the background. After a few weeks, or days, so she says that he's worse than racism, Nigel Farage. So
I don't know. Is the answer.
We don't know, but it's certainly she's put the bar high, right? So that's that. I think we should move on from that theme. And there's a couple of. Did you see there was a thing that you probably didn't? There's a lady called Liz Kendall. She's in the government. I can't actually, for the life of me, maybe she's a technology spokesperson or minister. She said they're going to be setting up. I'm reading this. A women's tech task force just take on Silicon Valley, and it's going to be called the Tech Sisters. Do you like the sound of that? Would that make you vote for Labour?
It sounds like the type of group that you'd have on your Desert Island Discs to fill the 7th slot.
You're thinking
6 ABBA tracks followed by the Tech Sisters.
Yes.
Sort
of a mix of Texas and the Sisters. It's perfect.
Which actually sounds quite good.
Yes.
Now, I hate that idea, and I'll tell you why.
Tell me why, yeah. Why?
This is one of the reasons that I don't watch the news. Sometimes with politics, it just sounds a little bit daft. And that, to me, sounds like someone's come up with that idea in a taxi on the way to the conference and said, should we go with this? And someone else said, well, we have nothing else, and that's what they've done. And I think it's silly.
Why is it silly, the idea of women competing with these, autistic mega brains in California?
Oh, it's not particularly the policy that annoys me, it's the name.
Oh, I see.
I'd almost forgotten what it was about. So it was women using computers.
Exactly, yeah. They're going to compete with Elon Musk and all those AI bros, as they call them.
Good for them. Get on with it. Don't call it something silly and just do it.
Get back in front of the computer. That's what we say to those women, isn't it? Not get back in the kitchen.
Get back in the computer.
Sit down in front of your...
Get in the computer room.
Get in the computer room and get tippy-tappy.
Get on your office chair.
Yeah, exactly. Spin around on it.
Mm.
Oh, yes. Do you know who Andy Burnham is, or should we?
I do.
You do?
I do, yes.
Right.
He's from Manchester.
That's right. He's had the knives out for Keir Starmer a bit this week. But what do you think about that? A different Prime Minister?
No, absolutely not. I'm sick of new Prime Ministers.
We've had one every
I'm more than happy to have
week,
this
it feels like.
We have this chap, Sir Keir, for another few years, as far as I'm concerned. However, I heard Andy Burnham.
Andy Burnham, yeah.
Sounds like a nice chap. But the problem is that he's not actually a member of Parliament.
You're quite right. That's
and
good.
I know, I heard.
Very good.
And
good knowledge.
And for my money, that's just like me going, well, I'm going to be the next Prime Minister.
Like that lady on the bus, the Caribbean lady, just saying, let me in.
Well,
give up your seat. Keir Starmer.
Exactly. Give up your seat. And I...
No, you're just a random woman. You could... No credentials, whatever. Get a mandate.
Andy Burnham, get off the Labour bus.
Get off the pot, or what's the phrase that you like to say?
Shit in it.
Oh dear, that was rude. We have to edit that bit out.
No, we can't.
I forgot.
We can't keep editing out every time you laugh because I say poo.
That's all we've got. That's the Labour Party conference. So it sounds like, you're Keir Starmer, steady as she goes. Reform Party with, we don't know how, are they racist, are they not? Let's move on and, just let's see. The proof will be in the pudding, won't it?
Get on with it.
For our ender, then, listeners, let's talk about the Ryder Cup. Now, I didn't know what this... I mean, I'd heard of it. You're over to you.
So, right.
Done.
All I will tell you about the Ryder Cup. So, Europe have won the Ryder Cup.
Against America.
Against America. It's Europe versus America in golf. A few chaps play against each other. European men won very honourably. And the American supporters is all I wanted to talk about. The American supporters were shouting lots of horrible profanities. They were shouting, "Fuck you, Rory." Who's Rory?
Rory Stewart has got his book there.
No, not Rory Stewart. Rory McIlroy, who's a Northern Irish golf.
He's a golf player.
He's a golfman, and he's a very good player and one of the best. And they were shouting lots of horrible abuse. And at one point, he lost his rag and he turned around and he said, "Fuck off! I'm trying to do some golf." And he was in trouble for that. Now, my point being that I think if someone shouts profanities at you, you should be allowed to shout them back.
Well, the only thing I was going to say is that it really put it, as someone new to golf, maybe others would have felt the same. It put me off rather because I'm not a huge sports fan. My interests are more literature, politics, and it put me off because I wanted to change from all that kind of loutish behaviour.
As you know, there's only 3 sports that I really still believe in, I suppose, and one is rowing.
Untainted, yeah.
Rowing is lovely. The London Marathon, as you know, my favourite broadcast of the year.
One day you're going to run it, aren't you?
Well, my biggest problem was I worried that I would cry the whole way around.
Well, if you did, that would be fine. We'd be cheering you on.
I could do a charity cry.
You've drunk all that whiskey, I just realised. Goodness gracious.
Gosh, sorry, I didn't realise that's gone.
Sorry, carry on.
I could do a charity cry and I would just run for 26 miles of crying.
Wow, that would be very sweet. Although you'd need that fluid retained for the running, but
and then the other sport that I love is Trooping the Colour.
Perfect. I cannot abide bad sportsmanship, cheating, and it started for me in school sports day. Hated it. People didn't play by the rules. There's a boy called Daniel Butters. I remember he put his egg and spoon race, put a bit of blue tack on, and he would put it on the spoon, won the race by a countryman. He was bragging about it in private to people, and I thought, you're just the worst kind of person.
No, that's awful.
He did, yeah. I mean,
do you know where he is now?
No, he died,
right,
in a car accident. So, I'd like to not say. I'd like to say forgive and forget, but
no, that sounds something like poetic justice.
It is really.
Glad he's not here.
What goes around comes around. But anyway,
and on that,
maybe that's a good place to finish. So let's thank the listeners, shall we? Wow, what a great first episode!
And I suppose all that remains to say
is goodbye from me, Stephen,
and goodbye from me, Henry,
and keep chatting the week. Keep chatting the week.
Very good.